Hi, it's time for a Bible story. I'm Sally and this is Matt, who I've recruited to help me. Because we're in a lockdown social distancing situation, we haven't got quite enough characters for this story. So occasionally I will become Ashpenaz, who is in charge of the food. So I have this chef's hat. And Matt has to play 4 characters. Daniel.
Hello.
Shadrach.
Hello.
Meshach.
Hello.
And Abednego.
Hello.
So watch out for the characters doing the story. You will notice that they mainly say no. This is a story called The Boys Who Like to Say No. It's from Bob Hartman's book, Telling the Bible, which you can a plug for him there. And do feel free to join in with the no's as we go through the story. So here it is, the story from Daniel chapter 1 in the Bible. When the boys lived in Jerusalem, their Hebrew friends knew them as Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael and Azariah. When Jerusalem was conquered, they were taken as captives to the palace of King Nebuchadnezzar. They were given Babylonian names, and everyone knew them as Belteshazzar, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego. But anyone who knew them well simply knew them as the boys who liked to say
No.
They were handsome, these boys, and clever, and strong to boot. Some of Jerusalem's most important families. So Nebuchadnezzar decided to treat them well. He gave them soft beds to sleep on, rich food to eat, and an education at his very best university, all in the hope that they would forget about Jerusalem and learn to call Babylon home, and that the rest of the captured people would do too. But Nebuchadnezzar hadn't reckoned on them being the boys who liked to say, no. One of King Nebuchadnezzar's servants was an enormous man named Ashpenaz. Here we go. He had a big belly and a chef's hat over his bald head, and more than anything else in the world, he liked to eat. So he was put in charge of turning the boys who liked to say
No.
into good Babylonians. For dinner tonight, he announced, you will have the following choices from the king's own menu: pink pork sausages, plump pork chops, or my own personal favourite, Mrs. Puffy's perfect pork pies. Ashpenaz wiped the corners of his mouth with the back of his chubby hand. The thought of all those pork products made him quiver with joy. But the boys who liked to say
No.
were calm. They knew exactly what to do. The king's food looked good and smelled even better, but they knew it was made from something their law said they couldn't eat, the law that they'd learned in Jerusalem, the law that their God had given them, the law and the city and the God that they were determined never to forget. So they turned to Ashpenaz and together they said,
No. 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 No.
Ashpenaz couldn't believe it. No pink pork sausages, he asked.
No.
Said Shadrach, but I wouldn't mind a few carrots.
Yeah.
No plump pork chops?
No.
Said Meshach. I'll just have a green salad. And not even one of Mrs. Puffy's perfect pork pies?
No.
Said Abednego. But a roast potato would be lovely. Ashpenaz wiped the sweat from his forehead. The king will be very angry, he explained. If you do not eat this food, you'll grow tired and ill. And there's no telling what the king will do to me. He may throw me in prison, or torture me, or cut me into tiny pieces, or worse still, take away my daily ration of bacon burgers. Please won't you reconsider?
No.
Said Daniel. But we promise you that you will not get into trouble, for we will not grow tired and ill. tell the king to put this to the test. For 10 days, the 4 of us will have nothing but vegetables and water, and the other boys in the palace can eat your food. At the end of that time, we shall see who looks more fit. Ashpenaz agreed, and so did the king. So for 10 days, the boys who liked to say
No.
said no to everything
No.
but vegetables and water, while the other boys said had their fill of pork sausages and pork chops and pork pies. What happened? Well, the God that Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego would not forget didn't forget them either. And at the end of the test, the boys who liked to say
No.
looked healthy and strong. And the other boys, well, their bellies were bloated, their breath was bad, and I can't tell you how they felt when they discovered what was in Mrs. Puffy's perfect pork pies. So, from then on, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego were allowed to eat whatever they liked. And even the king had to admit that they were both healthier and wiser than the rest. And all because they were loyal to their God, and because they were the boys who liked to say
No. 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 No.
Thank you very much for watching.